A secret agent embarks on a dangerous time-bending mission to prevent the start of World War III. Hey everybody, quick thanks for stopping by my channel. If you guys love movies just like I do, you guys are in the right spot. Make sure to hit that subscribe button down below and click that bell notification for more up and coming videos. Christopher Nolan's Tenet is finally here. I've been looking forward to this film for some time. Just like every single Christopher Nolan film, it always feels like a big event when it hits theater, and so he really wanted this film to hit theaters, and it's been pushed back many times, and finally we get to see it. There was an advanced screening for it for a couple days through some movie theater chains like Regal Cinemas and AMC theaters, so got to see it early, and probably a lot of other people saw it early too, but this is a very, very well-made film, but also very confusing. This is a movie that if you're not paying attention for certain scenes, or possibly go get a refill on popcorn or soda, which my theater said no, or if you have to go use the restroom, you're going to miss key scenes. This movie opens up with a beautiful action scene that is filmed so well, and then immediately jumps into what Tenet is and this time-bending mission that John David Washington's character embarks on. And then we also get introduced to Robert Pattinson's character. We also have Michael Caine in the film briefly, and Kenneth Branagh. There's so many actors and actresses in this film. And this is like 2 hours and 30-ish minutes long. It's a pretty lengthy film. And like I said, the film immediately jumps into it. They tried to explain a little bit about Tenet, and if I sat here and tried to tell you all about the movie, I'd be here for a long time, because there is so much more than just that synopsis that I read to you. There is a lot about this movie, and a lot of people say, it's very confusing at times. Yes, very early on in the movie, I looked over at my friend who was sitting next to me, and I said, I'm confused. I will admit it, that I do not understand what is going on. But as the film progresses, Christopher Nolan does kind of give hints at what is happening and gives you clues. And so I put pieces together throughout the film. But this movie is so ambitious, it's so big, that the littlest moments in beginning of the film and throughout play a key part in the rest of the movie. So the littlest detail you really have to pay attention to, because they do play a significant part later on in the movie. The pacing for it at times is a little bit quick, especially in the beginning. We have this really epic action scene in the beginning that started off the movie with a bang, and then it just quickly jumps into the movie. And the film wants to tell us that these scenes are important to the movie, and everything that we are being explained about catching bullets instead of shooting them and Tenet, it all seems like it's supposed to be very important, but the pacing for it tells us otherwise, that it's not important, because it almost seems like it's being brushed off. Well, later down the road, everything else does seem important. So the pacing starts off really quick. It's a terrible pacing for the beginning of the movie. And then it kind of slows down, and then we have like our spy thriller. And that's when the pacing starts to really work for the film. We have our characters that are going on this mission, and they're trying to prevent World War III, and they're meeting characters. They're trying to meet one person by doing all these other things. And so once we get past the beginning of the film, it kind of slows down, and then you get to understand truly what Tenet is, and inversion as well. It's all very, very tricky, but I promise that if you do pay attention to certain sequences, you'll understand certain things towards the end. But I love how ambitious and clever this movie is. The storyline, yes, very confusing and tricky at times, but it's so interesting to see how it's played out. And the action scenes with the current person and the person that is experiencing inversion, and the action scenes, how it's kind of playing backwards while also moving forwards. It's very tricky to describe, but the way that they play it out, It's very well choreographed and really intense. Overall, the action in here is filmed very well. There's a lot of great shooting sequences, chase scenes, people fighting. All of it's filmed very well and really intense. I've never had any issues with Christopher Nolan directing action scenes because he knows how to frame the scenes and really put you into the moment. But I was really impressed with how he was able to incorporate the inversion in the movie while also trying to keep it in the current timeline, if that makes any sense. The score in here is also very, very good. It seems to have like in a backwards kind of style to it. It almost seems like it's being rewinded a little bit. Hans Zimmer didn't work with Christopher Nolan on this movie, but the score is really good and matches the tone and the style of the movie. Now, the acting in here is really good. John David Washington plays the protagonist, a little bit wooden and dry at times. I really like Robert Pattinson. Getting really excited to see the Batman. I think he was really good in here. The one that really stood out to me and had the most emotional connection to the story, one that you felt connected to, was Elizabeth Debicki's character. She had probably one of the bigger storylines in the movie. I think she did a great job with her role. But Kenneth Branagh as like the villain in the movie, really good performance. Really angry at times, a lot of yelling. And speaking of like a volume in him yelling, there is at times that you probably hear it a lot in reviews, is that it's hard to understand at times. There's certain times where the sound mixing and the audio and the score just do not match. And there's a lot of times where people are wearing masks, and so it's really hard to hear it, and you just kind of have to guess what they're saying. This is a film that if I could choose to have subtitles on in the movie theater, I would. I have subtitles going on constantly at home. TV shows, whatever it is, I have subtitles going. And so I cannot wait to get this on Blu-ray and watch it with the subtitles, because there's a lot of times I don't know what they were saying. They were just muffled and almost like it was like Bane talking in The Dark Knight Rises. So you just kind of had to guess what was going on. But yeah, a lot of times it was not put together well. But this movie is grand. It's very big. It's very ambitious. They destroy a whole entire plane in the movie. I love how big Christopher Nolan wanted to go with this movie. He put a lot of effort going into the movie. He wanted to make it feel very realistic for the story. And, you know, it's not my favorite Christopher Nolan film. It's not my favorite Christopher Nolan film, but it is a outstanding piece of work. I really enjoyed the characters and the story, just the overall ambition and the amount of work that went into the script and the action scenes. It is a film that I would love to see over and over again, to kind of put pieces together and understand it just a little bit more, because yes, it is very confusing and you get lost very easily in the movie. It's almost kind of like a deeper level of Inception, but I would love to check it out again with subtitles, of course, and put everything together. Because it is a bit tricky, but overall a really good film. I'm going to go ahead and give Tenet an A-. Thank you guys for my review for Tenet. Stay tuned. I will be having a ranking of the Christopher Nolan films coming very soon, and I'll be putting Tenet in there. So stay tuned for that. My name is Justin Watches Movies, and you guys stay classy, YouTube.